Before watching these scenes, have you imagined how dirty our planet is? As you can see, the continuous waste production and the saturation of landfills are pushing our planet into a worse situation. In fact, how serious the waste problem is? To find out the answer, we can first take a look at the trend of the quantities of solid waste collected in landfills in recent years. The quantities have generally increased from 5 million in 2009 to 5.2 million in 2013. Actually, the waste mainly come from 4 different sectors. Domestic waste occupies 45% of the total amount of solid waste disposed of at landfills in 2013. Construction waste occupies 25%. Commercial and industrial waste occupies 22%. Special waste occupies 8%.
Up till now, we have found a possible situation of Hong Kong. Just stop for a while, nail down the area. How about City University? What will be the situation of waste disposal be here? Now, let's look at the types of waste in City U. In the library, we will find many students lining up for printing notes. In the canteen, it's not uncommon to discover leftover. Is the waste problem serious in City U? We have carried out an experiment to find the answer in February. In the experiment, we aimed to estimate the volume of waste disposed of in the 4th floor of AC1 at City U. First, we investigate the waste facilities. There are 13 green rubbish bins. For each rubbish bin, it is 100 centimeters tall and its diameter is 40 centimeters. Considering it as a cylinder, we can calculate the volume of the bin, which is 40,000 pi cm cube. Then we estimate volume of waste disposed of. We have chosen 2 rubbish bins, one at the podium, which is called rubbish bin A, and one at the corridor of yellow zone, which is rubbish bin B. In rubbish bin A, the volume of waste occupied 65 cm chore of it. After marking it down, we also observed what the common types of rubbish are in it. There are bottles, cans, and paper. To obtain a better result, we repeated the experiment at different times and dates, which were 9, 11, and 13 of February, at 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock in the afternoon.
We can estimate the amount of waste in City U by the following formula. First, add up the height of waste in rubbish bin A and B. Divide the number by 2, then multiply the area of the base of rubbish bin. Finally, multiply the total number of rubbish bin on 4th floor of AC1. After the calculation, the estimated total volume of waste at 2 p.m. is 308,620 pi cm cube, and that at 7 p.m. is 306,020 pi cm cube. To conclude, the amounts of waste in City U at 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. were similarly large. And we also find that the common types of waste were tissue, paper, plastic bag, and bottle. In order to know more about the waste problem in City U, we decided to conduct a survey.
We will investigate students' attitude and habits of producing waste.
How often do you produce food waste?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Never. I always produce food waste.
Why do you produce food waste?
I am full.
The taste is bad. I'm full. I'm always full.
Other than the aspect of food waste, we will also ask about habits of recycling.
How often do you recycle?
Sometimes.
Never. Always. Sometimes.
Why don't you recycle every time?
Inconvenience. I'm not always bear in mind. It's a waste of my time.
Overall, we have interviewed 30 students. We can know their habits and perception towards waste generation from the results. For the first question, almost all students have produced food waste. For the second question, 23 of them produce food waste because they are full, but they don't order less food. And the rest think that the taste of food is bad. For the third question, only one always recycles, and the rest just sometimes or never recycle. For the last question, 16 students do not always bear recycling in mind. 11 of the rest think recycling is inconvenient, and 3 say that there is no need to recycle.
So the above results show that they keep generating waste, which can be avoided in fact. Some do not have the sense to recycle so as to reduce garbage. This further demonstrates that the waste problem is really out of their mind.
If people keep ignoring the waste problem, we will end up in two main serious environmental problems. First of all, the air pollution problem. Waste disposal at the landfills release toxic gases during the process of decay of organic matter, such as methane and 1,1,1-trichloroethane. Methane is one of the greenhouse gases, which leads to the greenhouse effect. The earth becomes warmer and other environmental problems arise, such as flooding.
On the other hand, the groundwater pollution problem may also occur. The hazardous waste disposal at the landfills will release toxic substance, which slip in the soil then contaminated the groundwater.
So, what can we do to alleviate the waste problem?
Actually, there are some measures that can be taken to reduce the amount of waste. We can use electronic devices to read the reading materials instead of printing out of them. Besides, we can use both sides of the paper. After that, thrown into recycling bin, it can be made into recycled paper. For bottles and cans as well, we should throw them into recycling bins. For the food waste, we can order less rice if we are not very hungry. Sometimes, we can bring the leftover home for the next meal.
Actions speak louder than words. Start reducing waste to save our Earth.